I never finished any of my game projects, so I challenged myself to complete a multiplayer game in 3 months, no matter what. It is time to create a new project. Now we just have to wait for Unity.
One eternity later.
Okay, but what next?
Huh?
It's easy, we only have to press the make multiplayer button. Jokes aside, this is my first multiplayer game, so I'm kinda clueless, but how hard can it be? That mistake didn't take 3 months, it took more than 2 years. But let me rewind the time to what happened. It all started 2 years ago, when I was with some friends at a LAN party. A LAN party is basically where you meet up with friends, bring your PCs, play games, eat pizza, or you can duct tape someone to the ceiling. We started by playing some relaxing rounds of Unreal Tournament. That wasn't the best idea, so we decided to move on to Trouble in Terrorist Town. TDT is a game mod in Gary's mod that can be extended by tons of community-made mods, which might completely break your game. The game is a social deduction game, kinda like Among Us. There are 2 main roles. One is the innocents and the other are traitors that deceive and kill the other team. After everyone finally downloaded all the mod packs, we played a few rounds, and of course, I won every single one. During that time, while I had to wait in a death screen every round, I thought, why isn't there a more modern version of this? Also, whenever we were only 3 or 4 players, something just felt off. The game was a little slow paced and you always only want to be traitor. That's when I was thinking about making my own game.
So anyway, thanks for the pen.
No problem, hon.
I told my friends about the idea and for some reason they actually encouraged me. That's when hell began. Now let's finally talk about the game, which is definitely what you've been waiting for this whole time. The core idea is pretty simple. At the start of each round, everyone gets a few random power-ups or special items to choose from. For example, you could get smaller, stronger, or even swap roles with someone. After that preparation phase, players are split into 2 teams. There are the rebels and the spies. The rebels have to figure out who the spies are within a certain time limit, or they will lose. If all spies are eliminated, the rebels win the round. To find out who the spies are, the rebels have to collect clues and will receive a radar about the spy's location. Just like a little wall hack.
Stop shooting me! I just why did I reload? What the fuck? Oh my god, I'm stupid, dude. Hold on, Clara, give me 1 second. Clara, let me just message this girl. Give me 1 second. Why the fuck is this on my computer right now?
Anyway, the spies can also help to collect the clues, which might make you think, why would they do that? Well, that's easy, because they seem less suspicious and they power up by getting even more upgrades for each clue, which makes them a lot stronger.
It's over 9,000!
But it's a double-edged sword for the spies, because they also help the other team by doing so. To keep rounds unpredictable, special events can drop on the map. Whoever picks them up first can choose between a random change that can twist everything. For example, the teams could be rearranged or a bomb will be spawned that one team will have to plant, which is a completely new idea. Anyway, if I add a little bit of this idea and a little bit of that idea, then I have a completely unique game. Like I said in the beginning, I had no clue about multiplayer. So first I checked out some networking frameworks, but there are tons. So I did the most logically thing. I had chosen something randomly.
Let's go gambling!
After I choose Fishnet for my project, I want to check out some tutorials. Luckily, we got this YouTube channel. No, not this one. I'm talking about Bobsy. His videos help me understand a lot. Also, nice code. I hope you don't mind if I... After having the player controller and the multiplayer connection on the first day, I felt unstoppable. Anyway, there is something missing for a shooter. And that's guns, of course. So I added this bad boy. Which I immediately changed to an asset from the asset store and also got this character model. Then I made a shooting script which you can only see in the console. But after some time I made more progress and got the gun working. Without any bugs, of course.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy. You get your goddamn ugly ass on.
For the clipping through the walls, I did some research. Apparently, first-person shooter used two cameras for rendering. One that only renders the gun, and another one that renders everything else. Next up, I added a tiny map that I made in Blender. I had no clue where to go with the game, but I felt like I want to have something like a battle arena. Which I threw away in the end. After that, I added some basic UI, which I threw away in the end. Then I added the main game loop, so you could play, which I threw... Oh no, I actually kept that. But this was basically all I did for the first 3 months, and I'm not even close to be done. However, I had fun, and that's why I wanted to stick to the project for another few months. But those few months quickly turned into many months. And after more than 2 years, I must probably be nearly done by now.
It's false. It never happened. It's a fake. No way. We got you.
After trying pretty hard in the beginning, I ran into the usual problem.
Welcome to League of Legends.
I always keep distracting myself with different kinds of things, like losing in every game I play or just running around. I'm also not one of those 5 AM hyper performers.
Oh boy.
5 AM. In the last 2 years, I kept switching between working pretty hard on the game and doing literally nothing. Also, having a job takes a lot of time and energy. But during this project, I learned how to not quit. What helped the most was starting with a tiny task that should only take about 15 minutes, because getting started is the hardest part. However, those 15 minutes usually turn into several hours. But the best secret trick to encourage myself to keep going was paying the Steam fee. Once I paid it, I was finally able to create my own page, which you should totally check out. Go wishlist the game.
Do it! So just do it! Do it!
The link is in the description. Let's go back to the past. Since I want to create a Steam page, I had to come up with a theme and build an actual map. That's when I had the best idea: rat games. I'm not talking about real rats, but games where you're tiny in a huge world. Kind of like those DE rat maps in Counter-Strike or other games where you're shrunk. So I went back into Blender and started creating a new map without overthinking it. I took some inspiration from Teen Room. After creating the map, putting it into Unity, adding textures, improving them, and adding some magic. I'm done and pretty happy with the result. At the same time, I started recreating the whole UI in Inkscape. I wanted the game to have a comic vibe, so I tried to design the main menu in that style. The game is pretty unserious, so I got creative and added things like this grenade. With absolutely no issues at all. I also added a chicken egg grenade launcher. If you have more ideas, put them in the comments. Currently you can carry 3 weapons in your inventory, which you can switch with 1, 2 and 3. You always keep the pistol and can't drop it. But my biggest issue right now is where to put the special weapons you get as an upgrade, since spies can receive multiple of them and need more space. I'm not sure whether to assign them to key 4 and let players scroll through them, or limit it so you can only carry 1 or 2 special weapons. Also, you can now collect folders, which will give the spy a power up. But once all are collected, they will reveal their identity and location to the rebels. If you have friends and want to test the game, you can join my Discord, which is currently pretty empty. I also changed the characters using a different Unity asset pack and made a simple editor for them. But I'm still thinking about replacing them and creating my own models. Also, the game was still missing some juice.
Are you planning on ordering today, sir?
I need some camera shake.
How original.
And some particles.
Daring today, aren't we?
And I also added ragdolls that lose their clothes when you take someone down, which was a bug that turned into a feature.
We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents.
And that's basically everything added to the game, which I then named Tiny Takedowns. But that's just the tip of the iceberg, and I still have a lot of things to do in the future. I'm still missing a real options menu, more weapons, the ability to change game modes, more maps, and a lot of refactoring. Anyway, if you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe and share it with every person you've ever met in your life.